Welcome to Nice Finance. If you're reading the title, you already know what this video is about.
Yeah, I am not shocked by any of this. I have seen throughout the year in both the spaces of the sciences all the way down to retail a cutting back in DEI policies. A lot of these companies just got on board, as we know, to say that they were doing something after George Floyd happened, and it was all performance-based. It was clearly performance-based, because why do you feel the need to roll back your policies now? And we know you really didn't mean it in the first place. But the companies that are about that life are about doing the 15% pledge and creating inclusive policies for smaller owned businesses that don't have the capital to be in bigger box stores to grow their business. Those are the ones that we're sticking beside. We can leave y'all behind. Besides, the other store's cuter anyway.
Listen, folks, Walmart just F around and now they're finding out. Listen, go to your search bar and type Walmart, DEI. Right? And you'll see what I'm talking about. Stores are empty, bro.
Walmart. How Black Friday going? It ain't so black, is it? Now y'all keep finding out. Now we was the ones that was, okay? We can survive without you, but y'all surviving off of us, okay? So whenever you realize, and the rest of y'all companies, other companies, even people, white people, realize that, we'll be living in a better world, okay? Ooh, wasting all on me, and that's okay. Spending my Black Friday at home. I love it. We gonna get our reparations sometime. If y'all won't give us our mule and our land, we gonna watch y'all hoes suffer on these terrorists. Okay, we watching. Walmart.
Pride Month, largest retailer says it will no longer give priority treatment to suppliers owned by minorities and women. It will also scale back racial equity training and review its support for things like Pride Month and other events. Yesterday, we spoke to Walmart CEO John Furner, and here's what he had to say about the change.
What we're trying to do is to ensure that every customer, every associate feels welcome here to shop and to feel like they belong. And that term belong, we've been talking about belonging now for almost 2 years. Early 2023 we started talking about belonging, and we're going to continue to make the best decisions we can that makes everyone, our customers, our associates, feel like this is an environment they can shop in and thrive in.
Joining us now is the president and CEO of the National Urban League, Mark Morial. Good morning, Mark.
Thanks, Adriana. Tony, congratulations to you guys.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for being on our show. And thank you for being here. So in your statement to Walmart, you issued a statement to them where you didn't mince words. You said that this has potentially disastrous effects. It's hasty and ill-advised. It's a hasty and ill-advised capitulation to anti-racial justice extremists. And you say it could point to a regression to a past marked by discrimination, racial profiling, and insensitivity. What do you think, Mark, will be the real-world impact of these changes?
Well, I'm dismayed by this decision because as a 20-year partner of Walmart, none of us got a heads up that they were even reevaluating or reconsidering their corporate diversity or equal opportunity initiatives. Here's what's important to remember. This company was under recriminations, lawsuits, complaints 20 years ago. The CEO at that time, Tony and Adriana, Lee Scott, led a remarkable transformation of this company over the last 20 years. And they went from worst to first class when it comes to diversity. The idea that they would throw all of that away without any careful consultation with their partners, without any real serious evaluation of the success of these programs is what dismays me. And I've communicated to the leadership of the company my desire to meet with them to have a discussion. I think what they did is succumb to threats, to bullying, and to blackmail by a handful of extremists. We need American business leaders to stand up for American values. And one value of this nation is equal opportunity. That's all diversity, equity, and inclusion is about. It's about creating a level playing field for all.
But Walmart is not alone here. I mean, you have Lowe's, Harley-Davidson, John Deere, many other countries who are kind of pulling back on their diversity initiatives. Does DEI itself have a PR problem? Because these days it seems to have some baggage.
It's been smeared by a hate mob. Diversity, equity, and inclusion were a set of terms designed to create a positive, if you will, image and a positive conversation about an America for all, an America that is open to all. And now it's being smeared. It's being smeared in the same way the word affirmative action was smeared another generation ago. So the nomenclature is one thing. The value and the principle is what counts. DE&I is consistent with meritocracy. Because what DE&I says is give those who have merit but who've been locked out an opportunity. So these two value propositions work together.
So the Supreme Court, you mentioned affirmative action. John Roberts, Chief Justice, had a line, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is a close paraphrase, that the way to end discrimination on the basis of race, the argument being that by favoring people based on their gender or their skin color for a contract, if you're Walmart, you are perpetuating the very racism in a different way.
You use the word that is inaccurate, favoring. DE&I does not favor, it opens doors that have been historically closed. Progress in minority supply and supply diversity, but the numbers are still relatively small. They're not a significant portion of all the suppliers they do business with. I mean, that's what's important. I mean, this is still an initiative like I can say we're proud of, but an initiative that still represents a very small portion of all of their suppliers at Walmart.
So Walmart's a massive company, huge employer in America. I think it might be the single biggest employer of Black Americans, period.
Yes.
As I understand it, you're in conversation with them. You requested a meeting, or have they agreed?
I'd like to meet with Doug McMillan. Look, I know Doug McMillan. I've worked with Doug McMillan. They've been historically a strong supporter of equal opportunity, and I think that conversation would help us gain an understanding. I want to have that conversation before I think many of us in the civil rights community decide what steps we'll take or what moves we'll make.
I just wanted to give y'all the tea real quick in case you didn't know. This is the way you can make Walmart understand how important your dollars are. For 21 years, I was a store manager for the company, and I am here to give you the tea. This is the fourth quarter of the fiscal year, the most important quarter for Walmart typically, because they're trying to push to put more numbers on the bottom line, because they're going to have to report the earnings for the entire year to their shareholders. February 1st marks the beginning of an entirely new fiscal year. So right now, they're pushing to get those last few dollars. The reason why doing it now is important is because typically in December, believe it or not, even with Christmas, most retailers suffer a downturn in sales. That's the reason why you have the whole Black Friday thing. The perception of consumers getting a great deal, it's there because no other way exists for them to get you in the store and get you spending all the extra money that we spend this time. You guys may also notice when you go in some Walmart stores, it appears that they're thinly staffed. They do that on purpose because, again, if they're trying to report their best numbers, they review any and every expense they can, and the first place we used to cut was payroll. That's considered a flexible expense. I'm not sure about other retailers, but Walmart generally orders all of their merchandise a year, 2, sometimes 3 in advance for the general merchandise side of the store. That's where the company makes its money, not on the grocery side. The GM side of the building is where the merchandise has the highest markup, and that's where they make their money. So think about this. If they've already ordered a store full of merchandise because they're counting on the same customer base that supports them throughout the year, and for the last 3-4 months of the year you guys don't go in there, what do you think is going to happen? I'll tell you, that freight's going to sit there. It's going to pile up. The next shipment is going to continue to come in because, again, they've already committed. They've already bought this merchandise. And so then they're left in a position where they have to mark all that freight down to get it out of the stores to make room for other merchandise. Otherwise, you're going to see Walmart start to look like Dollar General stores. If you really want to make an impact and let the company know how you feel about their marketing practices, etc., this is the time to do it. But you ain't heard that from me.
Have you noticed the impact of boycotting Walmart? It's actually starting to shake things up for them financially. This is just the beginning, and it's critical for us to stay strong and explore other places to spend our money. Target and Aldi are fantastic options to consider. Plus, why not take a moment to search online for Black-owned businesses in your area? Supporting them can truly make a difference. Let's be real. It's predominantly women who buy household goods, which gives us a powerful voice. If they weren't interested in listening to us at the ballot box, then we need to make sure that they hear us at the cash register. The most effective way to promote change is by hitting their wallets. When we come together and make our choices clear, we can instigate real change, the change we want to see. If businesses refuse to create programs or continue programs that promote diversity and inclusion. It's time for those of us who value equality to take our spending elsewhere. Every dollar we spend can send a message. By supporting companies that align with our values, we're not just making a purchase, we're making a statement. Standing together strengthens our impact, and it's up to us to push for the changes we want to see. So let's unite and take action.
Y'all, the black dollar is speaking loud in Walmart. Like, I am walking around here, it's 6 a.m. in the morning, and there is no brown person like myself. Let me turn the camera and show y'all. Look around here. First of all, it is empty. Like, where is the people? No, in here would have been packed. Look at this, empty. Y'all, the clothes are packed up neat. Like nobody wanna touch them. Like, look at that.
I woke up this morning with the intention of driving to Woodbury to go to Walmart, and I opened my TikTok app, come to find out that Walmart is rolling back their diversity, equality, inclusion policy that they have been including for the past years, right? That means that they don't want our money because apparently they are afraid that they might lose their conservative customers. They're not. I'm so grateful for this app to like keep us informed. I've seen probably 20 different Walmart videos on Black Friday, which is when they make the bulk of their money empty. And I love that. I honestly love this. Let the conservatives go and spend their money because that's where they get most of their earnings from. Time and time again, especially with this election, it showed us how these companies really are. Because I remember with the Black Lives Matter movement, I believe they were one of the companies that came out and spoke out, and we were like, we're going to support Walmart. But no, it's just all about the money. So it's the end of the year. A manager came on here who has been working with Walmart for 20 years, stated that they make the most of their money at the end of the quarter. And since it's now they want to roll back this, right, we should definitely continue to keep our money in our pockets. They also order their merchandises in a year in advance. Not the food. They don't make the money from their foods. They make the money from the merchandises that they sell, which is at a higher price. So since they order those stuff a year in advance, you know, if it doesn't sell, it's going to go on clearance, right? And they're going to be at a loss. More shipment is going to come in. We keep our money in our pockets. Let the people that they want to shop there go and spend their money, and let's see how it goes.
Walmart is the latest corporation to roll back their DEI policies. So what does this look like? Well, there's a list of changes which include the following. They are removing LGBTQ related merchandise from their websites. They will discontinue the use of the terms DEI and Latinx. They're discontinuing training through the Racial Equity Institute and terminating its Racial Equity Center. The Racial Equity Center was established in 2020 as an initiative. So they're saying that initiative was due to sunset anyway. Over the past year, Walmart has phased out diverse supplier programs. These programs gave preferential financing to women and minorities. Walmart will continue to award grants, disaster relief, and funding to pride parades. However, there will be more guidelines attached. So why the rollback now? Well, simple. Walmart was facing a boycott. From who, you wonder? Well, the boycott was going to be led by conservative activist Robbie Starbuck. And you remember, in the beginning of the video, I said Walmart was the latest corporation. Other corporations that have rolled back their DEI initiatives include Lowe's, Tractor Supply, John Deere, Molson Coors, Harley Davidson, Black & Decker, Toyota, and Bud Light. I've also read that Target and Amazon are being pressured to roll back their DEI initiatives. We'll see what happens with that. They will probably fold because anytime you threaten to hit someone in the pocket or the wallet, they listen. And this video is for educational purposes only. It's important to say that so I don't get a strike and this video gets taken down.
Well, it looks like Walmart is finally tired of losing money. Walmart becomes the latest and biggest retail company to roll back its DEI policies. Now, I've become well versed in the euphemisms used by corporate America in order to disguise what they truly mean to say. So let me read this out in a way that we can all understand. Walmart finally realizes that this dumbass idea does not work if you want to make some money. You're welcome. Now, Walmart is definitely not first, and it won't be the last when it comes to finally eradicating this foolish idea that it's going to benefit your company to hire people off the basis of the most superficial aspects of their quote unquote identity. Instead of hiring people, get this, on qualifications, instead of hiring them because of how competent they are, we need to hire them on the basis of quote unquote diversity, quote unquote equity, and quote unquote inclusivity. Now, ironically enough, this diversity, equity, and inclusion has seldom included the diversity of thought, the diversity of idea, but instead diversity of complexion. So you basically just got Rainbow Nation, right? You got every single flavor and color, but they all think the damn same. And that's an issue, especially when their thinking is so far gone, they can't nobody get their job done. When their thinking doesn't lead to profit.
Let's be clear, Walmart been tripping for a long time, trying to make us pay to bag our own groceries. Having stores with only self-checkout to force us to bag our own groceries. Now you want to backtrack on DEI? I didn't really need any more reasons not to shop there. I live in Texas. We have HEB. Why is DEI important, you ask? DEI, which stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, is all about ensuring that everyone, especially those from marginalized communities, feels seen, valued, and included in all spaces. So how has DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion made a difference for minorities like us? First and foremost, representation matters. Companies that prioritize DEI are actively hiring more diverse talent, which means our voices and experiences are finally being acknowledged. Have you ever wondered why certain marketing campaigns or products receive approval from so many people? Often, it's because those assessing the final product may lack an understanding of how it can be perceived by different audiences. Lastly, there's cultural awareness. Many companies are now providing training that promotes understanding and respect for diverse backgrounds. It's about time we see this change. So while we've made strides, we can't afford to take our foot off the gas. We need to keep advocating for diversity and inclusion in every space we occupy. Keep this conversation alive.
I really did not want to have to make this video, but with the news coming out this week about Walmart rolling back some of their DEI initiatives, I think it's more important than ever to reiterate that if you are working, especially as a first-gen professional, if you're working in a cost center of a business versus a profit center, you are in trouble in times of economic downturn. Right? A lot of these DEI initiatives, they're cost centers. There's no way right now to directly monetize a lot of that work. And so when the economy turns or when the vibe shifts, a lot of these programs and the people that work within them are the first to go. So if you want to continue to support them with your time, with your energy, with your expertise, with your dollars, I'd encourage you to do so. But if you're working inside one of these organizations, watch out, because we're getting into a period where your organization and your job may be the first to go.
Looks like Walmart isn't just rolling back prices, they're also rolling back their DEI initiatives. Surprise! What's interesting to me is that Walmart is constantly getting sued for being discriminatory. Like, they're constantly in trouble for bigotry. And we're talking racism, sexism, disabilities. Like, they are constantly needing to give people millions of dollars because they refuse to do the right thing. So this is definitely on brand, but it does suck to see. It seems like it's against their best interest, and I'm interested in seeing what they do next. I don't know. But what I will say is I do feel like diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI has a huge issue. I don't know if I would say it's the death of DEI. I feel like there's going to be a rebranding because the brand right now does not work. And I'm saying this as somebody who works in DEI, who also recently got laid off from my DEI full-time job. And I think that the issue here is that people just do not understand what DEI is and how it helps. And when I explain it to people, they always get it, but I'm also always explaining what DEI is because there's been a huge campaign to undermine the impact of DEI and just make it into, oh yeah, we have this DEI program and it's supposed to help us get more Black people in, I guess. That's not what DEI is even about. But if there isn't people pushing on the other side to make sure that the brand is very clear, it's going to muddle everything up. Typically, when I'm talking to somebody that doesn't work in people management and I talk about DEI, they don't know what I do at all unless I explain it to them. If I say diversity, equity, and inclusion, they think that I work in finance because they hear diversity, equity, that's financial terms, and I'll explain what they do, and they say, oh, that sounds like that's something that's really useful. But before that, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, and they're only getting their information from these outside sources saying that DEI is bad, and they're not really seeing how DEI supports everybody in an organization. It helps with retention, it helps productivity. To me, I think that the rebranding is going to be more focused around inclusion. I see some people say that they feel like it's going to be more centered around belonging. Belonging to me is a little bit too soft, and inclusion seems more risk averse, which a lot of companies are more attracted to. But yeah, the tides are definitely turning. I'm going to see where I need to pivot myself in my career so that I can land a new position. But yeah, times are turning, and we'll see what happens.
Walmart just announced they are ending their DEI policy, diversity, equity, inclusion. They are going to roll that back and stop all their efforts into that. This is what they think making America great again is. And Walmart cites that they're doing this because they were facing huge, significant conservative boycotts to their stores. I don't know. I would like to know that. Please show us. I want to see the numbers. Because right now it's just a bunch of conjecture. So this is what's going on now, and they're not the only company doing this. Ford has done it, Toyota, Lowe's. I mean, there's a growing list. Now, the land of diversity has become a lot harder to navigate. Now, I know what MAGA is going to say to this. Hire the right person for the job, regardless of what their ethnicity is. Okay, I get that. In theory, that works. But the problem is those people for generations have been excluded intentionally from even having consideration for jobs. So that's why this is important. I wish everyone luck out there, and we'll find a way through this. I'm sure things will come up later as this gets more and more extreme, and there will be court challenges. And I'm sure the ACLU will be very involved in everything.
If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing, sharing the video, and giving it a thumbs up. Until next time, take care.